back, ladies and gentlemen, to the August 22nd, 2020 edition of Pro Wrestling Throwdown. This is Luke the Big Dog Williams. I'm Caleb Black. That's the Mighty Max Fury, and it's time for the fucking mailbag, bro! So, guys, we call it the mailbag because it's a fans, and we get fan submissions sent through either emails, Facebook, all the jargon we tell you at the end of every episode. Right. Or through word of mouth, evidently, for this week. Yeah. So we do have a couple of questions going on. Luke, what's our first question?
Well, actually, I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Maximus because it was actually asked of him to be asked to us.
All right, let's talk about it.
So, shoot.
So I was talking with somebody, and he'd asked me, he said, you know, they got Andre the Giant and George the Animal Steel, and all they're your big guys, your giant-sized guys, your normal-sized guys are 6'5". Your guys bigger than that. Your giant-sized guys. But what about your females?
Okay.
So, tell us a little bit about some of our bigger women that people aren't familiar with. You know, you got they're all used to all these your model type females, your divas.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right. Tell us a little bit about some divas that people may not know about. Some your real women.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, obviously, right out of the gate, China, Asia. China had to be, even in boots, every bit of 6'1".
Yeah.
Which, for a woman in the women's wrestling division at that time, was massive.
Malaysia,
yeah.
Honestly, you go overseas. Bull Nakano, while she wasn't
huge by our standards,
height-wise back then.
By women's wrestling standards, yeah, she was a monster. Giant.
Bertha Faye.
Big Bertha. I love Big Bertha.
Which was really weird because Bertha Faye originally over in Japan was a monster.
Yeah.
And then they brought her to the WWE with Harvey Whippleman, and they turned her into like the sock hop.
Yeah.
Wearing the dress and polka dots. Which, honestly, back then is really condescending.
Yeah.
If you really think about it. Like, that could not happen.
Oh, no, that would never fly today.
But, had the whole Bertha Faye theme song and stuff. It was horrible. But, legit, tough woman.
Yeah. Now, I know that a lot of the bigger women were probably mostly in the past.
Yeah. Where
a lot of our fans are probably not real super familiar. Which I do want. I want you to. Who are some of those? So some of our older women, that may have wrestled with Moolah.
That's who we're covering. That's basically who we're covering.
Bertha May.
That because women's wrestling back then wasn't taken as legitimately as it is now.
Yeah, no. Back then, women were just attractions.
They weren't on television a lot.
Yeah.
Because it was more of a. Don't send us letters for this. It was more of a carnival act.
Yeah.
Moolah was basically reigning women's champion for what?
20 years.
20 years because there was no one to take it from her. It didn't really start picking up till probably the early 80s, and that would be like Sherry Martel.
Yeah, so the introduction
Robin.
The introduction of Glow really kind of changed that.
Speaking of Glow, Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
Was a bigger Hawaiian lady who wrestled for Glow, who was, for her time, and the style of wrestling Glow was, a really, really big attraction.
Yeah. Linda Miles, she was 6 feet, even, not in boots.
No, and that's, for the women back then, they didn't get real tall back then.
Yeah.
Mostly you had, they grew outward. When you considered a monster or a bigger athlete, they were more wider or more broad than they are tall. Nowadays, they're just bred better. You know what I mean? Like
Diane Hoffman.
Yeah, Diane Hoffman.
She was a larger woman, and she wrestled.
Back up a little,
she was trained by Moolah.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back a little bit closer. Now let's talk about what I think as far as modern women. I was really a big fan of the Glamazon.
Oh yeah, Beth Phoenix.
As far as larger, what about modern? Nice.
Oh well,
so you're not again. I'm not talking about your model-y type girls.
Right. You're talking about wrestlers.
Yeah, you're real.
Well, automatically Nia Jax comes to mind. Tamina Snuka comes to
totally
mind.
Yes.
Tamina comes to mind.
ODB
most certainly comes to mind. Well, and you could also go with Trish Stratus.
Yeah. Jessica
Lita.
Havoc. Jessica Havoc, 6 feet and a larger female wrestler.
Yeah. But as far as the larger goes, I mean, yeah, Nia Jax, Awesome Kong, is pretty big in stature.
Yeah.
She's not really as tall as she appears to be on TV, so that's kind of a double-edged sword.
I want to be clear. I'm not trying to put down the modelly type girls or anything.
No, I get it.
Isis. Don't forget about Isis. She was also a large.
There's so
she
many.
was almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Isis the Amazon.
How about here recently they had a Mae Young Classic, Gabby.
Yeah.
The big Russian. That wrestled. Also, what was her name? Help me out here. There was a woman who was going to be on Tough Enough. That was a wrestler, and come to find out she had done some kind of foot fetish porn or something like that, and they took her off of it. But she was huge. Like, you remember who I'm talking about? Like, big blonde, huge lady. Cannot think of her name for nothing, but she was going to be on Tough Enough, and it come out that she had done fetish erotica.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember who I'm talking about?
I can't remember her name.
And then she ended up going to TNA for a very short amount of time before they finally let her go there. She was 7'4", I think.
Yeah.
And well over 2 bills.
Was that Isis the Amazon? Was that who I'm thinking of?
Maybe that's exactly
I think that's who it is.
But that wasn't her name in WWE.
No.
But yeah, she made most men look small.
Yeah. But yeah, right now
with the foot on her this long.
Right now at the forefront's definitely Nia Jax.
Most certainly.
She's not the typical female wrestler archetype. She and Tamina Snuka obviously physically much larger, stronger.
Very empowering, yes.
Very, very authoritative, as we've seen with the numerous injuries Nia Jax has managed to provide.
A lot. Nicole Bass, I guess?
I don't know if I would qualify.
She worked a little while. I mean,
Taya Valkyrie's relatively larger, as far as stature and muscle density is concerned, a larger female.
Dakota Kai's manager, valet.
Oh yeah, Mercedes Martinez and Raquel, whatever the hell.
Gonzalez.
Mercedes Martinez and Raquel
also
Gonzalez.
very, very tall step.
Large and in charge.
Most certainly. Oh well, Tegan Knox is at least over 6 foot tall.
I don't think Tegan Knox is over 6 feet tall at all.
Can we put Santina Morella in this category?
We cannot, because she's not a real lady.
Also, he was very short.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
He was actually smaller than most of the women he wrestled.
Small.
Tegan Knox. Yeah, okay, she's 5'6".
She's small.
Yeah.
She's small.
You know, I gotta say, while she's not real big, Nikki Cross has got a hell of a build, though.
Yeah, she's got a very
stature. She is very solid.
Solid is a good way to say it. Her body is built in a way that isn't traditional, but she's got, like I said, good muscle density, and she looks like she'd kick the shit out of somebody.
She's built like a brick shit house.
Short, but thick in stature. You got to go with Jordan Grace,
Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on because they're Dana Brooke.
Yeah,
is fit.
That Nicole Jordan or whatever the hell her name is from AEW.
Yeah.
Asia Kong.
Yeah, of course, Asia Kong. There's so many, man. When you look at today's standards, everybody's ripped and jacked. So
jacked to the gills, baby.
It really depends on how you would take what you mean by giant. Because you don't. He's out of his mind. Out of his mind.
Lost it.
You may never have to begin.
Brother.
Feet never leave the ground.
Feet never leave the ground.
But no, but thanks for the question. That's...
Yeah, shout out to Doug for that awesome question.
There was great questions. A lot of people may not have known.
Yeah.
A lot of people may
educating the masses, guys. If you
also take some of them names, go do your
YouTubing. Guys, if you have a question, Luke, you know how they could submit that question to us?
They could send it in a letter.
12-page application.
Yeah, they could go through an application process.
Smoke signals.
Very strenuous. They could write to congressman.
I am fond of smoke
They could text.
Or they could send us an email, prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com.
That's a good one.
They could leave comment right here.
That's a great one.
Right around it.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah,
Well, after they like and subscribe, it's very important. Like and subscribe. Do it now.
Don't subscribe first.
Hold on,
you have
wait.
to like first. Like, then subscribe.
Well, you be quiet. Hold on. Wait. Go ahead and do it. We'll wait.
And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ProWrestlingThrowdown. Stay tuned for the Wreck of the Week.